His best value in Signing Day Sports on the side of his J&D Chevy-powered Beast. And Fatheads Eyewear qualifying is officially underway.
And appropriate to have a member of the Bird family, so much involved in the life and career of the great late Rich Vogler, the first out to qualify for the Silver Crown Road here at the historic Winchester Speedway. We know this, Tony. We're going to have a track record right here.
Yeah, no doubt about that. This being Silver Crown's first time here to Winchester, it's going to be who is the quickest. That will be the track record holder. Nathan Bird's first lap, a 16.821. So most importantly, he's getting out on track here, which we didn't see during practice.
Had lots of trouble in practice. He climbs the bank through turn number 4 and heads towards the checkered flag from Tom Hansing.
Lap number 2 improves greatly to a 16.093. So there's a lot of life left in that number 11. That is really good to see. Bird will take it back to the pit area after his 2 laps here in Fatheads Eyewear qualifying. We move along.
Looks like car number 31 from Mechanicsburg, Pennsylvania. Burkheimer Racing, Subway Auto Body, Rich Wine's Garage, Macri Concrete, a sponsor. It's a Beast with Chevrolet Power. The driver is Dave Burkheimer.
Burkheimer making his way out of turn number 4. Going to get a full lap to build up speed here. Actually, that's the 24.
Mike Higginbottom out.
Driving for John Higginbottom, Belmont's Garage, Robinson Racing Products. It's a Beast with a PME SP2 Chevy underneath the hood. Higginbottom hails from Levittown, Pennsylvania. Higginbottom out of turn number 4. Green flag. His qualifying effort set to begin here as the second car out on track.
Mike Higginbottom, we mentioned the fact of a pretty good run at Williams Grove Speedway, a 9th at the High Banks of Salem in 2020, so a track that perhaps fits Mike Higginbottom well. He's made 25 previous series starts.
First lap across the line for Higginbottom, a 17.145 Bird. Your first car out, laid down a quick lap, 16.093. Again, Higginbottom shined on night number 2 of the 2021 season with a 10th place finish up in Pennsylvania at Williams Grove.
And the checkered flag out comes for Mike Higginbottom. His second lap is a 16.718. 16.718 for Mike Higginbottom.
Good improvement there for the driver of the 24. Rolling right along. In the number 222 for Rice Motorsports, he's got Fatheads Eyewear on the side of the car, as well as Steeda.com and Lucas Oil. It's a Beast with a Foxco Chevy underneath the hood. Originally from Sutter, California, now relocated to Brownsburg, Indiana. Rookie of the Year contender, Logan Seavey across the line.
Yeah, he's a great unknown, Tony, given the limited number of laps he turned in practice session. This is a Robbie Rice machine. His father, of course, former Silver Crown Series champion, the great late Larry Rice. Here comes Logan. He climbs the bank, heads down the front straightaway.
Turn number 1 on the first time by. That car pointed up the track for just a moment. CV got it back underneath him. His first lap is a 16.408. 16.408 puts CV second on the charts. Again, Bird out in front, 16.093.
Yeah, former USAC NOS Energy Drink National Midget Champion Logan Seavey. Lap number 2 better, 16.117. But Tony, he stays right there in the second spot.
Yeah, good lap for the 222 of Logan Seavey. He's able to improve, but he'll stay one spot out of the top. Nathan Bird still on top here in early days in qualifying. Rolling out next, the black and white, the number 2 from Edwardsville, Illinois, driving for Patrick Lawson Racing. Jason Fuller Images. Man, that guy's a good photographer on the side of his Beast with a spec Chevy underneath the hood. Patrick Lawson coming out of turn number 4 to get it underway here. Patrick is our 5th car to take time here in qualifying.
Yeah, Patrick, an unusual guy in terms of his experience here at Winchester Speedway. As he dives down low down the back straightaway. He's a driver who has ran here in CRA stock car competition.
Tom Hansing waves the white flag. Lawson's first lap, a 16.738. Moves up the track just a little bit over that bump in turn number 1. Gets it rolling down the back straightaway. Better looking second half of the lap than we saw on lap number 1.
He's made 43 previous starts, 7 top 10s in his Silver Crown Racing career. And clocks in. That's third quick for Patrick Lawson. 16.395. 16.395 for Patrick Lawson.
Continuing on here in Fatheads Eyewear qualifying, going to see our 6th car take time. Up next, driving the number 7 for KR Racing, Magna Machine and Tool, and Willwood Disc Brakes on the side of his Jackson Chevy-powered Beast from Newcastle, Indiana, the one they call K-Rob. Here's Kyle Robbins.
Kyle Robbins, a former series Rookie of the Year, has had pretty good run to start his 2021 campaign.
An 11th on night number 1, a 5th out in Pennsylvania, and then an uncharacteristic 29th.
Yeah, that was a really unfortunate for K-Rob, one of the most popular guys on the tour.
So Robbins is going to make up for it here on lap number 1, 15.810. Very early here in Fatheads Eyewear qualifying, but that lap will take him to the top, 15.810. That bumps Nathan Bird down to second. Can he improve here on lap number 2? And he does. 15.690. Pat, how about that?
Yeah, it's interesting watching him hustle off at turn number 2. When he got on that throttle, you saw that pronounced wiggle on that number 7 machine, but nonetheless, good time for him. This is a guy who has been a super modified champion in Dick and Deborah Meyer's car. That's the Patco Transportation Ram Engineering Fuller Life Water Beast Level Ford. From Grafton, Ohio, it's Mike Mcbetta. I understand Mike was slated to be in this car at Madison before that event was canceled. This is a car that we've seen the likes of Brian Gerster campaign from time to time. So here comes the super modified Ace Mcbetta.
Mcbetta's also got a lot of laps here in super modified. You talked about that during practice, as Mcbetta's first lap, 16.308. 16.308, that puts him 4th of the 7 on the race monitor chart so far. But yeah, Mcbetta's got a track record, I believe, here in a super modified.
Yeah, he's awfully good, and he'll be racing that Myers sprint car as well, as we understand it. Second lap, not as quick. A 16.340. He'll stay with a 16.308.
So Mike Mcbetta takes it back to the pit area, coming out of turn number 4 to start his warm-up lap in the number 16. From Sylvania, Ohio, driving for Niemeyer and Let's Go Racing, Lucas Oil Center, and Wayne Subaru. On the side of his beast, it's a Kircher Chevy spinning those rear Hoosier tires. Austin Niemeyer getting ready to kick things off here as he sees the green flag to the end Fatheads Eyewear qualifying.
Fourth-generation drivers made 48 previous starts, had a 6th-place run at Salem Speedway. His grandfather, Jerry Niemeyer, turned many a lap around this Winchester Speedway. Raced in the old ARCA Midget Series, did Jerry Niemeyer.
Austin's first lap across the line, 15.988. Correction, 15.988. That's almost 0.3 of a second off K-Rob, who's a 15.690. Niemeyer kicked off 2021 with a 10th place finish at Lucas Oil Raceway Park back in Brownsburg, Indiana. Niemeyer improves on lap number 2. He'll go to the top, 15.689.
A good second lap for Austin Niemeyer. Kenny Niemeyer turns the wrenches on that number 16 machine.
That's good enough to put Niemeyer up into the top spot here in Fatheads Eyewear qualifying. Now this guy, you sure he brought a lot of fans.
He had to have.
They didn't have a long drive, not a long drive at all. From Winchester, Indiana, driving the number 39 for Goodnight Racing with Pallet Builders, Bennick Enterprises, and Simpson Race Products. It's a Claxton Chevy powered beast. Hometown racing. Matt Goodnight gets on the clock here.
Scott Bennick turns the wrenches for Matt Goodnight, who had a career year in Silver Crown competition a year ago. He's made 35 previous starts. Best runs last year, 9th at Salem and a 10th at the Hoosier 100.
Goodnight chasing his first top 10 result of the season. Lap number 1 is third quick. Goodnight, a 15.761. That slots him right behind K-Rob, Kyle Robbins, and in front of the 11, Nathan Bird.
That's been a little active from time to time in USAC Amsoil Sprint Car competition as well. Matt Goodnight goes to the head of the class. Good for Matt. Has to make him feel good. That's a 15.536. 15.536 for Matt Goodnight.
Head of the class. I like that, Pat.
You like that?
You can see the professor coming out a little bit in you right there. I like that. Goodnight to the head of the class. We'll see if anybody else can join him. Out on track now, driving the number 131 for Derek Bishak Racing, Jason Deach Trailer Sales, and Greek's Pizzeria, as well as Rapid Race Cars on the side of his beast, with the J&D Chevy underneath the hood from Angola, Indiana. Here is Derek Bishak.
And Derek, a former Rookie of the Year in this series, he's run a stock car around this Winchester Speedway from Angola, Indiana. Rose-Hulman Institute graduate.
Taking a look and seeing what Derek's done with us so far here in 2021. First, his opening lap comes to a close here. Bishak, fourth quick, 16.051, as he already hustles that number 131 out of turn number 2. Down the back straightaway, we've seen good improvement for most cars on lap number 2, Pat.
Yeah, he's a pavement specialist. He's made 5 top 10 finishes in 10 previous starts.
He picks up the pace to a 15.732. It is an improvement, but Bishak will stay in the 4th position. We've seen 10 cars already here in Fatheads Eyewear qualifying. Up next, it is the number 1 1. He is chasing Rookie of the Year points from Beech Grove, Indiana for SFHR Development, Big Red Liquors, and Speedway Indoor Karting, as well as KRJ Products on the side of his Nail and Chevy Powered Beast. Kyle O'Gara getting after it here, green flag race. And O'Gara had himself a pretty big pavement sprint car win, if I remember, down in Florida.
He sure did.
At the beginning of the year.
Yeah, part of the Dave Steele Classic. Cody Swanson was there as well one night, too. But this young man has been outstanding in pavement sprints, midgets, and taking on the Silver Crown Series in that pretty number 1 car.
Kyle O'Gara comes across the start-finish line to complete his opening lap. It's a 16.118. That's good enough for 7th boy any night, no matter where you are, Indiana, Florida, or anywhere else. If you can beat Cody Swanson on the pavement, that's a pretty good night. Kyle O'Gara, one of the few to do it. 16.118 on lap number 1. Let's see what he can do on lap 2. It's a 16.181, so he'll stay in the 7th position. That's Kyle O'Gara from Beech Grove, Indiana.
He's a young man that always seems to have a smile on his face. Always good to see Kyle.
Absolutely. This car puts a smile on my face. Favorite looking car in the field. Wellpot Racing with EGR, Smith Family Farms, Avance, and Skip Payne Consulting on the side of his Beast with a JND Chevy underneath the hood. From Pendleton, Indiana, here is Travis Wellpot to get on the clock.
Landed in the 13th position in points a year ago, did Travis Wellpot. He's made 20 career starts, the former UMRA TQ midget champion and a former Neymar's midget champion. Travis Wellpot. His father was once the president of the UMRA TQs.
We'll see what he can do. Season high 15th place finish back at Williams Grove on the Pennsylvania trip. Wellpot's first lap goes second quick. 15.569. And that's going to put him to the top there. 15.459.
15.459. Didn't register on Race Monitor, but Kurt Spridgen at the time. And it's a good effort for Travis Wellpot. This guy ought to be quick too, Tony.
Now we're getting into the really sharp and the business end of our field of Silver Crown racers. The number 40 up next. The Robin's Egg Blue colored car, as Dr. Pat Sullivan calls it, from Shoalsburg, Wisconsin. For Byrne Racing, Vitech Resource Management, Stoops Freightliner, and Truck Country on the side of his J&D Chevy Powered Beast. David Byrne, who I think has already tripled the amount of laps completed this year than he had last season.
No, there's no doubt about that. He's made 65 previous starts in his Silver Crown Series career. He's netted 10 top 5 finishes. Is that it?
That looks like that puts him to the top. 15.329.
Yes.
David Byrne, lap number 1, good. Can lap number 2 be better? 15.329. 15.310. He picks up the pace on his second trip.
Boy, he carried that momentum into turn number 1 and almost took a pair over the south parking lot there as he hustled that number 40 car in that qualifying session.
Hey, it's a beautiful looking race car, and it looks pretty beautiful on the time charts here as it jumps up to the top. Now, talking about being at the top, this is the driver at the top of the 2021 championship chase, 3 races in. From Kansas, Illinois, the throttle, Shane Cottle. And the number 81, Sidway, off of turn number 4. Cottle driving for the VCR Group, Flint Trucking, QS Quality Components, and Duncan Oil on the side of his Kircher Chevy Powered Beast. And Pat, we were talking about it. He's good on the bottom whenever we hit the dirt. Tonight, he's going to have to find somewhere else to go on the pavement.
Right, had a little bit of a wiggle at turn number 1, but sometimes loose is fast. Turns a 15.726, 15.726. He's won the Ted Horn Memorial at DeCoin in Silver Crown competition and won the opener at Selinsgrove to start the 2020 campaign.
6 championship points on the line for picking up the Fatheads Eyewear Quick Time Award. Cottle jumps up to 4th with a lap of 15.555. So good improvement there on lap number 2 for your championship point leader.
This is going to be an interesting lap here, Tony.
Yeah, it sure is. It's an interesting driver in the number 99 for Brad and Tara Armstrong. Armstrong Garage Doors, Fatheads, and H&H Drywall on the side of his Claxton Toyota Powered Beast. From Fortville, Indiana, Eric Gordon, a 2-time winner here in the sprint cars at Winchester.
Yeah, this would be his 145th career start in this series for Eric Gordon, the 9-time Little 500 champion. Rookie of the Year this series, 31 summers ago. Eric Gordon, one of the great United States Auto Club veterans.
We saw him go 5th quick in practice earlier this afternoon. Gordon's first lap to the top, 15.211. Eric Gordon assumes the top spot here. Pat, can he go quicker on lap 2?
Well, I think he's got to stay at the top because we anticipate one at least to be in the 14-second bracket. Almost 15.061, 15061. But right now he's at the top of the queue. That's Eric Gordon.
He's not messing around. Eric Gordon takes over the top spot here with just a few cars left to go. Next up on track, driving the number 26 for Sam Pierce with Sam Pierce Chevrolet. Logical Systems Incorporated and Valvoline on the side of his Maxim with a Pierce Chevy from Muncie, Indiana. Here's Aaron Pierce.
Aaron Pierce's motto ought to be, ain't scared. He is not afraid to stand on the gas in any pavement event. Aaron Pierce has made 100 previous starts in this series. He's a 3-time Silver Crown winner.
Aaron Pierce works off of 4, makes his run across the start-finish line. We'll see what it goes. Second quick, 15.181. Not a surprise, Pat. We saw that number 26 ducking in and off of pit lane quite a lot during practice. They were working on that race car.
Yeah, I have said since he has maybe a chance to make a 14-second run here. Can he do it? What's he got?
14.969. Pierce to the top of the charts with only 3 cars left to go here in Fatheads Eyewear qualifying. Next up, your defending series champion from my own California, now living these days in Avon, Indiana. Driving the number 91 NOS Energy Drink and Super Fitness sponsored beast with a Speedway Ford underneath the hood for Ron Himmelgarn. And Himmelgarn Racing, here's JG, Justin Grant.
And Justin Grant's MO in this series has always been his consistency. That was a little scary. 56 times starter, 24 times in the top 5. He's won a couple. That might have caused Dennis LaCava a little pause there as he watched his driver hustle into one.
Lap number 1 for JG is going to be third quick, 15.236. Much better run. That time on corner entry through turns 1 and 2. He works his way down the back straightaway through 3 out of 4.
Wow.
15.236 was lap number 1. It was good enough for third. Can he pick up the pace at the line? 15.227. He improves on the charts, but he stays in third.
He may have climbed the bank higher in turns 3 and 4 than we've seen in a while, so he's got something. Now we're getting serious, Tony.
Getting serious indeed, especially when you talk about pavement racing, whether it's a sprint car, a midget, or these USAC Silver Crown race cars. Driving the number 22 for DJ Racing, Brown & Miller Racing Solutions, and Simpson Race Products on the side of his beast with a Speedway Chevy underneath the hood. Bobby Santos ready to attack the Winchester Speedway here.
One of the most versatile pavement drivers in America, bar none. 58-time starter in this series, 10-time a victor. Former NASCAR Modified Series champion. What hasn't he done on the hard top?
Santos goes quick first time by, 14.880. That displaces Aaron Pierce's lap of 14.969. Santos trying to keep that 22 wound up as they come out of 4 down the line. What's it going to be? 14.817. He goes even quicker, Pat.
He does, and he's probably thankful he's going to be in the race car and not have to watch this lap because he knows full well he can see his nemesis right now in the Doran Racing 77. The gentleman on the track there has won 31 times, 5 champions, and 31 times he's been Fatheads Eyewear Fast Qualifier. What do you think he's got, Tony?
I think he's got something here. Bobby Santos says they don't have a rivalry. I disagree wholeheartedly. The last driver to take time here in Fatheads Eyewear qualifying because he was the quickest during our hour-long practice session. Cody Swanson. Pat already said it. The 5-time series champion bobbles just a little bit over in the middle of turns 1 and 2. He takes that number 77 down the back straightaway through 3 out of 4. This will be the end of his first lap. Let's see what he's got. 14.817 is what he's got to beat. 14.729. Swanson to the top.
And there's Cody Swanson, the Glen Farms Lycans Energy Solutions beast. Lancey forward entry. Can he go even faster? My hunch is that he can. Here comes Tony Swanson.
He's already the track record holder to 14.729. He picks up the pace to 14.459. And that is your Silver Crown USAC Series track record here at Winchester Speedway. Great lap for Cody Swanson. 14.459.
Yeah, I tell you, I just looked over Richie Murray, and Richie just sort of forlornly shook his head because what does this guy do that does not surprise you? I mean, Cody Swanson, he's a master of this game. He's meticulous in his preparation, and that's a bit of a separation over a guy like Bobby Santos III.
You got people walking around back here in the press box. They can't believe what they just saw. A great lap for the 5-time champion, Cody Swanson. 14.459. That takes over the top spot. Bobby Santos was second quick with a 14.817. Aaron Pierce was third with a 14.969. Eric Gordon and Justin Grant Complete the Fast 5. David Byrne was 6th. Travis Wellpott, the number 18, 7th quick. Matt Goodnight, 8th. Shane Cottle, your championship point leader, 9th quick. And Austin Niemeyer in that beautiful red number 16 completes the top 10.
Tony, here's a really odd story when you think about this racetrack and the great legends who have competed here. If you go back to the days when drivers had no cages, they had no protection whatsoever, they drove in T-shirts. Jackie Holmes typically drove in a bright sort of a striped shirt when he would battle with Troy Ruttman. Just how fast and scary this racetrack is. The very first psychiatric drug really in America was a drug called Milltown. This is a true story. Milltown was the very first. And drivers in the 1950s had a black market connection with a psychiatrist in Indianapolis, and some of them would go to that driver, that psychiatrist, and get a small dose of Milltown to take before they took on the high banks of Winchester because it was so fearsome. That's what it did to some of the legends of this sport. That guy in number 77 and Santos and all of them, ice water in their veins and go out and just blister this famous track. And that way, that takes a special breed of human being.
I learned something every single night with you, Pat. In fact, I learned a lot more than just one thing. I learned a lot. That might be the one that sticks with me for the rest of the season.
Yeah, well, that's a true story told by the godfather of Tony George. He told me that story many years ago, and I believe it. By the way, Tony, just a quick historical note, because you'll appreciate this. We probably will talk about some of the great drivers who raced here. But in 1949, Troy Ruttman was the youngest ever to win Indianapolis 500, 22 years of age at 80 days in 1952. He came back in 1949 and raced the 500, but he also had great success in midgets and sprint car competition. He won the last 4 events of the AAA Sprint Car Series in 1949. He won here at Winchester Speedway. You'd appreciate this. The car he was in was owned by Emmett Malloy. It was the Malloy Special. That's the connection.
Ah, yes.
That's the connection that we have with Joan Janelle and Tom Malloy. That was Tom Malloy's father. But great history at this race. We just saw the vintage cars at Cody Swanson, that's number 32.
Number 32 for the driver who is down on pit lane, ready to talk to Christy Bemis. Christy?
I sure hope so, Tony. Thanks so much. Cody Swanson is your Fatheads Eyewear Fast Time Award winner. Tonight at Winchester, it is the 32nd of his career. Like you just mentioned, Cody, describe the feeling it gives you to bring the Silver Crown cars to Winchester Speedway. It's been so long since USAC has been here.
Yeah, I mean, I think I was here last time USAC ran here with the sprint cars in 2011, and this has been a place that I struggled. And finally, with the series, we got to run in Salem a little bit more often, and I got a little bit better at the high banks. But this is a really tough and tricky place, and I don't know that I'm really great here myself, but I'm really fortunate to be surrounded by great people and driving a great race car tonight.
Does it definitely help you feel confident in your abilities to kind of maneuver around these high banks, this half mile, the fastest half mile, that's what they call it? Does it feel better to be out front and on the pole, or do you kind of make it feel like a sitting duck a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, it's tough to tell. You know, this will be the longest race we've run on the banks, and I'm not sure what kind of pace it'll hold. I know I can't do that for more than one. I held my breath the whole time anyway. So I'm looking forward to it tonight. You know, I thanks for the fans for coming out and for Winchester Speedway for having us, and Brady and Ciciana Bacon for their effort, and as well as the Pallet Builder for coming on and helping make this happen. It's great to race pavement Silver Crown cars and great to be part of an inaugural event here at this racetrack, but again with the Rich Vogler Classic. So appreciate his mom Eleanor and just the chance to be here and every once in my life.
Well, if anybody can do it for 100 laps around Winchester Speedway, it's this guy, Cody Swanson, your Fatheads Eyewear Fast Time Award winner tonight for the Rich Vogler Classic.
Well, thank you very much, Christy, and another big moment for Cody Swanson. I've mentioned several times, and this is not hyperbole, this is the absolute truth. I sent a text to 1979 USAC Sprint Car champion Greg Leffler and said, Greg, I hope you can make your way down to Winchester, and he told me he would. We saw Tom Bigelow. We've talked about some of the legends of this racetrack. Bob Diller, this racetrack is special. It's a national treasure, opened in 1916. To me, personally, Pat Sullivan, there are tracks that have mystique, and to me, the two tracks with the biggest mystique are the Indianapolis Motor Speedway and Winchester Speedway. That's the truth, and I know that you feel you thought it was very important to keep this legacy alive and to bring these cars back.
I think this is what Winchester was born with. So we needed to bring open wheel racing back, and I remember prior to COVID talking to Levi Jones about this, and at that point inquired, hey, can we bring the old sprint cars back? And it's, no, but what about a